This weekly 5, I want to look at the T-TESS Dimension 1.3 knowledge of students. And since we're still in Dimension 1, what we are really looking at is the planning component of this. So knowledge of students is knowing your classroom, knowing what makes them tick, and trying to find ways to be able to use that to leverage their learning, not only academically, but through the social emotional level. So the overall definition of Dimension 1.3 is through knowledge of students and proven practices, the teacher ensures high levels of learning, social emotional development, and achievement for all students. But again, when we want to go from the proficient to the distinguished, what we're really trying to do is get a better understanding of our students that we have in the classroom. We want to look at their prior experiences, the knowledge they bring to the table when they come in there. We need to find out whatever gaps may exist in there and try to close those gaps to the extent possible. Set expectations in regard to academic achievement to the greatest extent possible as well. We want to make sure that we give opportunities for students to be able to work with each other, improve their ability to interact socially, improve their ability to be able to live well within the world. And that is much of what is going to be taking place within this dimension. But again, because it is planning aspect, it is how do you take that knowledge and develop an overall strategic plan for impacting that student in the classroom. So what does it mean for the teacher? You really need to make sure you connect learning. Know from the students what their individual learning habits are and take advantage of that. Instead of always focusing on the weak part, take their strengths. Find times when they are successful and really build upon that success to try to close what gaps are and try to bring in and raise the level of understanding in the areas in which they are weak by looking at where they're very strong. You also want to make sure, just like any teacher does, you want to make sure that you have good vertical alignment, that you look at and connect with their prior knowledge and experience, connect with the skills that they bring to the table. If there is any gaps there, we need to make sure we try to close it so that they can be successful as they move forward. And then to what extent possible, you want to make sure that you align with the interests that they have already. Now, from an administrative perspective, you need to make sure as you're sitting in there and looking at the planning that has taken place is that you try to make sure that the teacher understands the prior knowledge of the students to help build upon that they are adjusting instruction to meet student needs, and through meeting student needs are recognizing when those gaps are and trying to take care of that by focusing on the strengths of the students, that there is something in there that addresses the social emotional component, and that you do use a variety of instructional methods to take care of the various learning styles that you may see in the classroom. Also, as we want to go through here, I want to do a special recognition. Dan Knoll, the high school principal of White Oak ISD, is retiring after 44 years. I've known Mr. Knoll for a long time. He was a coach on a team that coached against the team I played on in high school many times. When I became superintendent, we were colleagues. He was a superintendent as well. Looked up to him, always admired what he was doing, and as high school principal, he's made a big difference. And really and truly, what makes him so special, and I know we all care about kids, but he really did have a heart and really had a good way of interacting with the students, held high expectations, expected them to do what they needed to do, and did it in such a way where the kids all liked him and teachers liked him. And so I appreciate Dan Knoll, and 44 years he's retiring at this point, and he will be missed within education. And certainly in UT Tyler, if there's anything we can do for you, let us know.